I guess I'm gonna go ahead and start. And the computer here doesn't work well enough to actually use anymore, so I'm gonna have to start doing this. I prefer not to because I feel like I'm about to fall asleep up here. So, but I think I'm gonna just work a set of problems. I'm gonna work regular gates like this one, and now I'm gonna do some curved gates, and then I'm gonna cover the curved gates not through the text, the section of the text, but just through working the problem. So let me head off and just grab this thing. We're just going to look at them at random and sort of grab them, go over, drop them in here, and just start working them. So here he's got, reduce it again. It says the gate is 2 foot wide, pinned at A, so it's pinned right there. Held in place by a smooth latch. I'm guessing that that's the latch. At B, that exerts the normal force on the gate. So the gate's going to want to be opening like that. So somehow the latch is going to hold it. We're not going to worry about how it's going to do it. Determine this. Well, it says that exerts a force normal to the gate. So the latch is somehow like that. Determine this force caused by the water and the resultant force on the pin by the gate. Wait, the resultant force on the pin for equilibrium. So since he said this thing is 2 foot wide, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically break this thing. I'm going to solve it two ways. One way is with this increasing pressure that we got on here, that at the top pressure is equal to 3 foot down. I'm assuming it's water, so 62.4. And at the bottom, it's not just 3, but it's also 6 foot down. So the pressure at the bottom, believe it or not, I drew it pretty close to being at scale there. In that it is another 3 foot down lower. So this is going to be, the pressure at the bottom is going to be 3 plus 3, 3 plus this 3 times 62.4. However, if I take this load off and look at it, call this the F. Well, first let me do it in the free body diagram the way it should look at that right angle, at that angle we've got here. So here you got point A. So you got a hinge force X at A and a hinge force Y at A, which we're not going to really care about. You've got a load here and it's doubled about to right here. So essentially you've got the pressure load pushing on this thing, and then you got the triangular load above it, because the deeper you go into the water, the more the pressure increases. So this will be 3 times 62.4, and this one will also be 3 times 62.4. The reason it's 3 is if you are at A and you swam down to this point at the bottom, you swam down another 3 foot, you ended up with that. Now I think somewhere, there it was. I have Octave open so I can, here, clear the screen, clear everything. 3 times 62.4, 187.2. So both of these are 187.2, and they are pounds per feet squared. Oops, oh wait, equals to 187.2 pounds per feet squared. So that is this portion, that is that. Then you've got this force here, which for lack of a better word, I'll just call it F. So what I'm going to do to the free body diagram is I'm going to turn it into another diagram, which will be sitting here to have HX at location and HY at location A. Then I'm going to have a load that this load is a result of the uniform load here. And so the gate itself was 2 feet wide. So this load, call it L, is 187.2 pounds per foot squared applied over a, okay. So I've got to figure out that distance. So this is 3, and that's 3. This distance has got to be 3 square root of 2, right? Okay, so 3 squared plus 3 squared square root is equal to 9 squared, and 9 times 2. Take the 9 out, and I'll get a 3 square root of 2. So I think that's what I end up with for the distance from B to A. So in other words, how can I, okay, so this distance is 3 times square root of 2 from here to here. In the page, it's another 2. So what I've got is 3 times square root of 2 feet by 2 feet. And the 2 feet is because, and this is the area. 2 feet is because he told us it's 2 foot wide. And so what you end up with is the load there is equal to, here, let me drag it down here. 187 times 2 times 3 times the square root of 2 give me 1588. Now, okay, if you see me doing something that doesn't look right, immediately speak up. And the reason being is because there's a big difference from being able to move around with a board. And so I'm sitting here and I'm not going to drink any caffeine because I'm having to sit here. I think that's a silly thing to do. So I'm not exercising, so my brain's not as awake as it would be if I'm walking around up there. There's a big difference between that. So last period, I made a simple mistake and I looked at the wrong force and I multiplied it times 20 or divided by 9.81. And it's supposed to be 20, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. And then somebody said, oh, that's the other number. And so I realized I'd looked, there were 2 numbers. I looked and grabbed the wrong one. And so if I goof up like that, there's going to be a better chance of errors in that case. You've experienced it too. You sit in the classroom, and if you're sitting there, that's why taking notes is such a good idea, because it keeps you awake. Just the act of that keeps you awake versus not taking notes. And then when you come to a test, what do? You're like, I need a bunch of caffeine. So then you drink caffeine and you perform better because you're awake. But nobody really lets you stand up and walk around the room taking your test. So just an unfortunate thing. So if I make a mistake, let me know. So this load is 1588.4. Now, we got a triangular load sitting here. And that triangular load is because of this. And its value, its area here, is half the area of that one. Right here. It's half the area of this one. So since it's half the area, it's going to be half the load. And it's located 1/3 from the heavy end. Okay, so it's going to be down here. it's going to be half the size of that, or 1588.4 divided by 2, because it's half the area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that and divide it by 2. 794. So it's going to be 794 point. While I'm doing the points. And this thing is the distance here is 3 times square root of 2. This distance is 3 square root of 2 over 2. And this distance is, since this is the light end over here, this is 3 square root of 2 times 2/3. So it's 2/3 from the light end, 1/3 from the heavy end. In other words, if you, and this is just a statics thing, so if you've got a load here and you got a length, it's equivalent to the load being placed at the centroid of the area, which is 2L over 3 from the light end, or L over 3 from the heavy end. And that's just what it is, you know. So now, with that and the extra load that I'm supposed to put, that for some reason it escaped me. Hang on. So in other words, this load needs to be put right here. And I'll put it right here and call it F. And from this object, I can sum the moments about point A where the hinge is located, and therefore these two forces are not in there. And I'll just say that's going to be positive. And so here I'm going to say 0 is equal to 1588.4. That's this force times that moment arm. And 3 square root of 2 over 2. Then you got this force times that moment arm. Plus 794.2 times 2/3 times 3 square root of 2. Let me move that down. 3 square root of 2. And then you've got this load right here going the other way. And so that's going to produce a minus. Its moment arm is this times that. Gets you 3 square root of 2 F. Just from observation, maybe an incorrect observation. Let's see that. I'll move the F over here, and then I'll get 1588.4 over 2 from this, and then plus 2/3 790. I have no idea what that is, but I think I can put it in. Okay, 1588.4, 4 divided by 2, plus 2 divided by 3 times 794.2. 1323, roughly. I'm just going to say 1323. And so, and I don't even know, I have no idea what the answer is or anything like that. So there, I don't know, there's no, maybe there is a back of the book thing here. I don't know. That's 257. I could attempt it, but I doubt that's going to occur. I mean, I could try it. Look at the very bottom. They say appendices. Properties of fluid. Yeah, I don't know. Fundamental solutions? What the heck is that? Answers to selected problems. Which for some reason, maybe I just didn't have it down far enough. Okay. Wow. I don't even know. Okay, what was the problem? 257. I don't know. 250. And that ain't being there. Oh, it is. Okay, my brain is off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this instead of me trying to figure that out. Was it 257? I don't remember if it's. Let me just copy that whole thing. Oh, it wasn't. Let's copy that whole thing over there. I can't even think well enough. Okay. So, oh, FA. Oh, wait. FA. Oh, it wanted the force on the pin. On the pin. I found the force on the other end. Okay. Well, hang on. Where's the rest of the thing? Oh, okay. So the nice feature here is if you just, let's just imagine we turn this thing sideways. Okay, let me see if I can turn it sideways. So here's A, and here's what we found to be what? 1323, right? And then we had one that was 1588, and I'm so tired I don't need a decimal spot anymore. And then 794. Then I obviously have to have this to add up with this to have these two. That makes sense to you? So now I've rotated my thing, and so now I'm going to say sum of the forces in the y equals 0. And that'll give me, I don't know what to call that except FA. FA is equal to 1588 plus 794 minus the 1323. So I completely found the wrong thing. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. Where is the, there we go. Well, now I can't see that. Okay, that. Okay. Oh, man, 1588. And I'm just going to drop some digits. I don't, 794 minus 1323. 1059. We got 1059. That's the FA. What did he get? I copied it somewhere. Okay, so there's it. Okay, so kilopounds. 1060. I got, yeah, so I got close then. 1 pound off. What the heck is B? What was the other thing? Okay, what was he asking there? Determine the force caused by the water. This force. Oh, is he talking about the force on the gate? What? Wait. Okay, let's, okay. The gate is held by the, okay, let's see if we can read and patch these two sentences together. Held in place by a smooth latch at B that exerts a force normal to this gate. Determine this force. I'm assuming it's that force. If he's saying that, and he's saying this, that would probably imply that the last part of the last sentence. That would be the F. So what did I get? I got 1323. Oh, okay. What did he get? Oh, he got the same thing. Okay, so we got the same thing. Man, that's the hardest part of the problem. It's reading. Anyway. So yeah, I got the same answer he did, but my brain shut off in the middle of it. Or at the end of it. I shut off at the end. I wasn't paying attention that he asked for something different. But it worked out okay. It's fine. Okay, another problem. Oh no, I gotta go all the way back. How do I do that? Okay, where the heck was I? I'm gonna find another problem. And in that, you know where can you, where if you can put, what do they call them? Highlights so you can see. Let me try to, here's problem. And then I just spun down through there and found the problem. But if there's a way to, bookmarks, that's it. So I've got to be able to add a bookmark because then I could jump back and forth. If, okay, what happened? Oh, I did a problem that was okay, having trouble keeping up. Where's my problem? Oh, there it is. So I did that one. Let's see. That's the same as that problem. Oh, I said I was going to work it two different ways, didn't I? I did say that, didn't I? Let's do that. Okay, the other way. Okay, so now let's forget everything we knew. And the other way is this. F is equal to gamma H bar A. And then the delta is equal to I bar XX over Y bar area. So this is a good exercise because this picture, it's beneficial. Let me see if I can grab the picture off the book. Because now I can just focus on the picture itself. And if I do that, man, I'm about to fall asleep. I'm just focusing on that. And then I'll go back over here and I'll just put that in there. Okay. Now, how are my coordinates done? Because this is a good exercise in the details of that. So let's see. Let me try that. It won't let me do that. So I've got to hit the escape and then hit it. Okay. So ew, that's not a good one. That's like a, and this is Y to a point right here, and this is H to that point. It turns out since this is 3 and since that's 3, it turns out that this angle is 45 degrees. And so now you got to figure out a couple of these facts, okay? So if you want to go down to the centroid of the gate, the centroid of the gate might be, here, let's do it this way. I'm going to do this. I'm going to say in random, go down to a point here. And that point would be matched by that. But if you look right at the centroid, that's going to be Y bar. And that's going to be H bar. So it turns out that you go 3 foot and then half of 3 foot gets you at H bar equal to 4.5, halfway down. So now, if you just look at the F total, it's just gamma H bar A, or 62.4, H bar of 4.5, and then the A, which is the area, which is, the 4 and the square root of 2, not the 4, the 3, sorry. So in other words, I know the distance between here and here, given the fact that, and we figured this out before, given the fact that this is 3 and this is 3, so that means this is 3 square root of 2. So that tells you that, and it said it was 2 foot into the page. So this is the area. This is the Y bar. This is the A. So let's see if I can match what I had before. Okay, 62.4 times 4.5 times 3 times 2 times square root of 2 gives me, did I multiply that? 3 times, wait, 4.5. Oh, that actually, wow, that's gamma h bar a. Sorry about that. Okay, now let me, looking at the symbols, and I'm like, that's not right. Okay, 4.5 times 3 times 2 square root 2. 2382.7. 2382.7. That's the total force on the gate by the water. If you look at the last picture, up here the total force on the gate was these two put together. The way I did it before. So to do it before, I broke it down to two loads, the flat here and then the triangular. And then now I'm going to just add those up. And just to see, 1588.4 plus 794.2 is that, wait, I don't know, 2382.6. 2382.6. 2382.6. Okay, so that's pretty close to it. So I'm feeling comfortable now. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling not nauseated, but I am feeling pretty sleepy here. Okay, so the next part, like what the heck is that? And how do I get it? And what does it mean? So what it means, first of all, let's look at what it means. This little delta means that, hey, you know, from your picture up here, or my picture up here, it's pretty apparent that it's heavier down here than it is up here. So that means that the centroid might exist here, but down under it, the equivalent load is located a little under the centroid because it's heavier on the bottom. And so what that means is you'll have some books, here I'll make it a different color. Some books call that center of pressure. I think in this book it's called just P, maybe? So this is YP. It's the location of the equivalent load. Now, what's interesting about this location as compared to my last drawing here, it's pretty apparent that that location's got to be between these two loads. I mean, that's just a given. And it turns out, you know, you can ratio them and figure out exactly, wow, that's quite a big deal there. You can figure out exactly where they are. But it's somewhere between this. So it's somewhere past this value and then somewhere before this value. So it's between those two. So that's it's in there somewhere. It may be a little bit closer to this load because this is larger than this one. So it's going to be a little closer to that one. So let's try to figure out directly where that location is. Okay, so what you do, okay, it's pretty obvious what you do for area. Okay, area is just going to be, okay, let me switch my colors back. My area is just going to still be 3 times square root of 2. That's the height from here to here. And then it's 2D. So that's going to be what that is. Now, what is y bar? Okay, now this you got to take a real close look at. If this is 4.5, and you've got a triangle that's 45, okay, so got that line, got that line, got that one. So if this is 4.5, meaning it's h bar, and this is y bar, and this is 45, and this is 4.5 too, then I would say that your y bar would be, okay, it's 4.5 on both, so it'd be 4.5 times square root of 2. So if that's 4.5 and that's 4.5, then this has got to be equal to squared plus 4.5 squared is equal to 2 squared times 4.5 squared, which is silly, which ends up looking like that. So I've got the 4.5 square root of 2. So I got this one, and then I got that one, and so now I got to figure out this one. How do you figure out that one? Well, what you do is you pretend you're a person laying here on the ground, and you're staring up at that gate, and what do you see? And it has to be in that particular form. So what you see a gate that looks like this. It's too wide because he said it's too wide. 2 in the page. And the gate itself is 3 times square root of 2 high. So I'm going to pick right there in the middle of it. I'm going to call that the base. I'm going to call that the height. And I want to find the I x bar bar. Well, that's just base 2 times height to the third over 12. You can look that up. That's the most standard one that's there. So looks like I got to calculate that. 2 times 3 times square root of 2. All that brought up to the power of 3 and divide that by 12. Oh, wow, that's a little bit high. Well, okay, it may still be there. 12.728. Now what I'm looking to do, and I'm sorry, but I put these all different. I'm looking to combine all this together with this, and I'll come up with the delta. I don't know where that came from. Delta is equal to 12.728 divided by, oh, I didn't multiply these out. 4.5 times square root of 2 times 3 times square root of 2 times 2. Oh man, am I getting sleepy. And I'm not going to go drink caffeine. So, okay, divided by 4.5. Divided by, I know I can do this quicker, but I'm just going to divide by 3, divided by 2, divided by square root of 2. 0.235. Okay, 0.23570. Now, what does that mean? Okay, let's see if I can maybe just copy that picture. I don't know. So that means, okay, this distance right here, let's see, from here to here, that's delta. And so let's see if I can break this gate away from its support there, and maybe try my best to draw it down here. So here's my gate. That doesn't look like 45 degrees, but that does. Here's my gate. The centroid from here, we have to remember that gate, its total length was 3 square root of 2, but half of that is the distance down to there. Okay, the center of pressure means that's where the load is located. We found that out as this 2382. Okay, let me rewrite that. 2382.7, and this part is 0.23570. So now I have a load here and I have a load back here. And so now I guess what I'll do is sum the moments. I guess this was point A and this was point B. So I'll do sum of the moments about A equals 0. Tells me that, I don't know, I called that F. F times the total distance, which was 3. Whoops. 3 square root of 2 is going to be equal to this 2382.7 times this new moment arm. This new moment arm is 3 square root of 2 over 2. And yeah, I know I can 23570. So in other words, I'm actually measuring from here down to here, which includes the delta and the distance from A to that central. And let's see what I get there. Okay. Let's see. This is going to take 2382.7 times parentheses 3 times square root of 2 divided by 2 plus 0.2357. Square that out, divided by 3, divided by square root of 2, and I get 1323.7. Yeah, because it was 1323.7. If you look, yeah, this is jumping around. That's kind of what I got there. Yeah, 1323, and maybe I was just too lazy to write the 0.7, or maybe it was that I spent too much effort and didn't get it. You got too much in there. So I got that 323.7. So that checks out with the last one. And now I can just do, if I want to know this one, I can do sum of the forces in, say, that direction equals 0. And what I'll get is 2382.7 minus the 1323.7 will be the load that sits right there. And so, you know what? I think after this, instead of me falling asleep right up here, I think we're close enough to the 82.7 minus 1323.7. 1150. 1150. Is that what I got? Okay. Well, I got 1150 here. I got 1159 there. So maybe somewhere I forgot a few pounds. There's two ways. If you got square gates like this, you got two ways to solve them. There's either one of them. And let me bring this up just because it's there, and I think I'm already logged in. Yeah, I'm already logged in, or else I wouldn't see this. So if you go into videos, I started to label them. I hadn't labeled these last few, but if you look at the static gates, you will eventually, after they come up, you'll see me working these problems in here. So if there's any sort of discrepancy or something, like I don't get that or something, or maybe I need more lectures or something, there's a whole pile in here. I think there's like 4 or 5 hours here. I'm not sure exactly. And so you can see them all there. These were created a while back. And you can see I located them in Lecture 4, Module 1 and stuff like that. I was a little bit reasonable as far as
all right, what else can we do with
how I was trying to organize things. So that was back when I was more organized. The closer you get to retirement, you just say, oh, okay, you know. So that's where I'm at. So there's that. I hope this makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. If you work a couple of problems, you begin to realize, oh, okay, you know. So then what we'll do Wednesday is we'll do curved gates. Curved gates are actually not that hard. But like I said, I mean, if you go in here, you go back to videos, you'll see a whole, I don't know how many lectures I got there. Oh, I think this was a note from a while before. So you'll see some curved gates down here. And So, not sure. I think this first one might be a lecture I did in class that was focused on that. And all these came off that other account. So I'm not sure exactly why. This last one was a way of working the problem, but it's more like a proof than it is anything else. I call it an extreme proof, but it's not really all that extreme, So I guess we'll call it quits, and then we'll do curve gates on Wednesday, and then we'll just go from there. I'm gonna start making those videos on that CAD thing, and I'll show you some interesting things you can do there. Till then, I guess maybe if I went and got a lunch, that would wake me up.